let the dogs out? Who 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 let the dogs out?
Hey everyone, it's Pup Twigs from Orlando, Florida, and joining me today, all the way from Honolulu, Hawaii, is Daddy Bear Brett. How are you?
Bark, bark, or I should say woof.
Yeah, woof, woof, bark, bark. We'll take it all. So I'm so glad we finally got to kind of meet up here virtually, because I know you're I guess, the owner and creator of the website Pup World.
Yes.
So
Yes, it's a long time in the making, right? A long time you and I have been communicating back and forth. So I'm really glad to finally meet you person to person and then be on the podcast. I'm excited to do it.
yeah, me too. I've been thinking about this for a while, and we've had a few difficulties trying to meet up, but you know what? We got through it, and we're here now.
That's right.
So, what made you want to start a website that kind of showcases I say the pup community, but really it's for all animal community?
Yeah. I fell in love with the pup community. In the very beginning, as with a lot of people, you saw the hoods popping up all over social media, and you're like, "What the heck is this?" And diving deeper and deeper into that, meeting pups and reading about pups and how they celebrate life, right?
Hmm.
And I really quickly fell in love with the pup community. Every single pup, for the most part, that I met. Um, was welcoming and positive and very gentle. I found that really, really amazing because in many other corners of like niche communities and kink communities, you can tend to get a lot of standoffish kind of a negative stuff. And the pup
Yeah.
community, I never really felt that. I've got a good friend on the windward side of this island who's a pup. Um, and we had a bunch of coffee dates and my husband, I'm married, we went off and met with that pup and his husband, and we had dinner and met their family. They have two beautiful dogs. In our ongoing conversations, I said to him, there are several websites out there that are great and they really pull people in, but
Hmm.
what I don't, having a background in theater, I've been directing and teaching theater for many, many years. Having a background in theater and having a background in content and development for websites. I worked for the local college here for years. Um, I started wondering why there wasn't a website that would cater to the pup community, but in a way that assumes almost they know nothing,
Yeah.
number one. And then number two also assumes the experienced pup uh, has a landing place and finds interesting things to explore. So I said to my friend, I said, I'd like to create a web magazine. And the web magazine will be free, absolutely free. And it'll offer interviews of pups from around the world. No, not just pups. I want it to be animal players. And I use the term animal players just to make sure I get to the big, tough bears and tigers that don't really want to be called a pet. But I
Right.
said, so a website that would cater to this community around the world, because there are different types of pups or different kinds of packs. Everybody approaches it differently. So
Hmm.
let's start hearing those voices. Let's open the door to pups in Florida, right? And
Yeah.
let's open the door to pups. I've got a pup that has written for us. Wonderful, wonderful pup. Has become a friend. He lives in London, right? Um, I met two pups in Kazakhstan, met pups in Germany. I said, that's the kind of thing. Um, so that American pups could learn about the pup lifestyle in other countries as well as other states, right? So that pups in European countries and Asian countries, Middle Eastern countries can look at American pups and British pups and yada yada yada, right? So that was my whole dream, is to start the ball rolling. And I said to my friend, like, how the hell am I going to do this, right? And he said, well, just do it. I was like, well, that's my personality. Just do it.
Yeah.
But COVID was not good to me with laying me off from work, and I said I just can't afford to just do it. So in a couple of weeks, I got this text from my friend saying there's a politician here in Hawaii wants to go unnamed, completely anonymous, but wants to fund the first year of the website.
Really?
I was floored. And I said, I don't care who it is. I don't care who it is. It's Joe Biden. No, I don't care who it is, but it was what got this big ball rolling.
Mhm.
Excuse me. So I was able to really start laying it down and building it structurally. And it's been a long, long road. It's been several months of just, hook and crook, laying down each step of the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway,
Well, I mean, I've been on it. I think you messaged me one day and told me it was good. You were going to launch it in about 10 days, and you messaged me the day it went live, and I went on it and just loved it. And
thank you. Thanks.
I've been talking about it as much as I possibly can too, because we want it to be successful and we want a lot of foot traffic on it.
Yeah, we want and the good thing is, being a free site, yeah, we do want traffic, but we're not absolutely 100% beholden to the traffic. Right. You
Right.
know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, I don't have to uh I should say, like, in my perception of the pup community, the greater pup community, and one of the things that fueled my love for this community is that well, first of all, by the way, I should say I identify as a bear. I don't have a hood right now. My pup is actually buying me a custom hood for my birthday, so I gotta wait till November. I'll
Oh,
come back on in November and growl
yes.
at y'all.
Yes. Let's do it. And that was a question because I thought you had mentioned to me that you were a handler and you had a pup, but the pup doesn't live in Hawaii.
I actually have two pups in my family, and neither of them live in Hawaii.
Oh.
And that's kind of the way, I mean, Hawaii has a great pup community. It's very small. I'm not necessarily a bar guy.
Mm-hmm.
So my pup relationship right now has to be my friends and my extended pack. My pup, I speak to every day and text every morning, every night, constantly throughout the day. We have a really strong, daddy handler pup relationship that is
Mm-hmm.
really loving and really supportive. So, but that's a good example of how everything doesn't have to be cookie cutter, doesn't
That's right.
have to be one single way, right? Um, but yeah, so I digress. Right? So the idea is, yeah, to have pups represented on the website, in the web magazine, in celebrating these pups, right? So what I keep saying about the magazine, it is a celebration of the global pup and animal play community. And the mission statement, it's kind of maybe it's loftier or what have you, but I believe, and this is based on my original perception of the community, I believe that no pup should ever feel alone.
Yeah. Agreed.
Full stop. And that means that if you're a pup in some small part of the country where there's no pup community and you live at home and no one supports you, you still should be supported. So the magazine could list packs, which might reduce the size of the world, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it'll also have interviews and articles written about people who have been through this very same thing and who navigate that kind of loneliness. We've got mental health information on there, and that information is
Yeah.
building as it grows. But yeah, so the mission statement is that no pup should ever feel alone. And that could be from within a pack. You could have a giant pack and you go out and you moshes and parties and what have you, and swim party, you could still feel lonely.
Yes,
You
agreed.
could
You
still
can.
feel alone. And so, you know, not to be all kumbaya about it, but I think it's a good goal. And if I keep moving forward and we as a community keep moving forward in that direction with that as our goal, we cannot go wrong.
Right.
Because I mean, I love this web magazine, this website, I love it to death, but it could burn and collapse in one day. But as long as a pup or several pups were touched somehow, were connected somehow, even if it's like, oh, I was a brand new pup and I found on this web magazine had a list and an interview of a mask. In Brazil, they're calling them masks, right? Or of a hood maker.
Yeah.
And I saw that and I love that. And I ordered a hood, and that changed my whole perspective. Before that, I had no clue. So again, if we can just change one aspect and make it easier for one pup, then mission accomplished. But if we do way more than that, bigger and better, mission
Oh,
accomplished.
of course.
Yeah.
Well, I know it's only been live for a short period of time,
Yeah.
but how has it been since you launched? Have you had a lot of people reaching out about it?
Yeah, I have the newsletter. The mailing list is called the Butt Sniffing Wireless,
I
and
signed up last night.
it's really about, like, I mean, I'm a dog owner. I've had dogs that I've animal rescued for years, and my dog Toby is no exception, right? That's how dogs communicate. They're going to go right for the butt. So I'm not mincing words. This is all about getting to know one another, right? So
Right.
that's that. The second part of it is we have a section called Woodpile Pups.
Mm-hmm.
When I was a kid, my mother would talk about about nephews or cousins or uncles that I had and I never met before. And she'd go, "Oh, they're just woodpile relatives." And I
Yeah.
go, "What does that mean?" She goes, "Well, they're relatives, but we don't really know them very well."
Yes.
So I thought that stuck in my mind forever. And I said, Woodpile Pups says it all. Is that if you look at the pile, we're all related
Yeah.
one way or another. I met this fascinating trans gentleman in New Zealand who identifies as a bear. We have developed a really wonderful friendship, and I love chatting with him, talking with him about beardom, if you will, um, and the various ways that it's impacted his life and it's impacting other people's lives. So it's an ongoing process, just
Mm-hmm.
learning new people, meeting new people, learning where they are, how they're coming together. But the woodpile gives me a chance to interview everybody. I mean, of course, not everyone. I'm being a little hyperbolic there, but the fact is, someone doesn't have to be an achiever. They don't have to have won a Nobel Prize or something, right? A pup is a pup is a pup,
Right.
or a cat or a tiger or what have you. Someone who's part of our community will be interviewed because we're all worth it, right?
That's
And
right.
then eventually, what the fun part is, you'll be able to go to the woodpile and just read these interviews. And suddenly that world gets smaller and smaller because you realize these, let's use pups for lack of a better all-encompassing term, but these pups are all really in the same family. We're all related because we all go through the same stuff.
We do. We do. Well, I know you've mentioned the woodpile, the newsletter, um, the mental health part, but what other sections of the website do you have out there?
Okay, there's excuse me. It's been 10 days of fighting this cold.
Oh, I understand.
One of the areas we have on the site is a shopping area. And the idea was that I didn't want to have a shopping area where I'm pulling together all this money by shopping with my products because I don't make products.
Yeah.
I wanted to find a basic area that pups and animal folks can peruse to just look into where they can find items that pertain to their pup play. to their being in their headspace or in their role space, right?
Mhm.
And the idea was that I would vet this information. So rather than just putting any old thing, um, be able to post these links and these pieces of information and allow people to get a leg up on where they can find these items. Now, I did put some simpler Amazon links and that type of a thing, but that's because not everyone wants to spend a couple $100 on a hood when they're first starting. And I
Correct.
wanted to to present options.
Mhm.
So that's really the first tier of it. Basic links of basic lists of stuff, right? Purchasable, wearable, and usable things. The second thing was in these sub areas is to provide interviews and features of certain vendors, right? I mentioned Brazil before. There's a wonderful mask or hood maker in Brazil, Moro, who owns Tough Squad. And we did an interview with him, and it was absolutely fascinating because they're very different than the standard, more neoprene hood, right?
Mhm.
And we were very fortunate to have Mr. Bear reach out to us. So we're able to post
Nice.
a feature of Mr. Bear there as well. So the idea is to keep doing that. I've reached out to some other vendors, haven't really heard back a lot. There's one in particular that just doesn't respond, and that's fine. I get it. But we want to provide the information, or
Mhm.
to really make sure as a web magazine that this information is out there. We also have an area called Pup Life, and I don't know anybody out there that was a Cub Scout or a Boy Scout, but back in the day they used to have a magazine, Boys Life, right?
Oh, yes.
And so in kind of a humorous riff on that, I thought, let's have a separate page called Pup's Life or Pup Life. That's really just about kind of the out of the blue things that we all experience and we all do, right? So nothing heavy-handed and serious, but more of the fun side of life. And in there is an FAQ, right? Like, what is pup play? And that's pretty much
Awesome.
standard for a lot of pup sites. And there is also a discussion about respect and that type of thing. Then we also have an area called the whole pup, right? And that area has an area called Headspace,
Mhm.
which is all about mental health and mental issues, emotional issues. And then there's a separate section about body, right? And that's fit and frisky, really, are at the two sides of body, right? So I wanted to feature an interview with folks that are into, the pups that are into muscle development and muscle pups,
Mhm.
um, athletic pups. We have competitors out there, right? We have, or people that have experienced some great weight loss and want to talk about it. So those pups can come on and talk about that, or pups that are very successful in designing their look in other ways. It's not about body shaming. I mean, there are some pups that are very, very proud and beautiful in their sizes, right? So Fit and
Mhm.
Frisky is really all about that. Fit meaning we do want to make sure that pups are healthy. Um, but beyond that, it's about how do you make it work for you? Yeah.
Yeah.
And Frisky, the same thing. We want to feature articles about the naughtier side of pupdom. What kind of stuff do you get up to? And really, um, again, it's not about shaming. So it's about presenting,
Mhm.
spotlighting the many, many personalities, pupsonalities, if you will,
Yeah.
across the world. We also have the wood pup area, woodpile pup area, as I said. And then we have another one called Packs Unpacked. And this one is an ambitious area, but it's starting from a small place, right? So there are regions of the US there currently. Um, and then the idea is to build out from there. So as we get packs that want to be identified, new regions will be added to that. So what
Okay.
you're able to do is go to that region, see all of the states that are represented there, you'd be able to see what packs are there. And each pack will have their own little blowout feature. So that includes several photos, links, quotes, a little bit about what you do, any important stuff coming up. So it's a cool place to do that in. We have, I think at this point, we only have 3 or 4 packs listed so far. And I kind of shake my head and go, guys, you know, I keep posting on Instagram, like, listed. So I did hear some feedback that there was no link on the site for packs. In each region, the very first thing is very much a link. It dawned on me I have to make that more visible for the main page. But when you click on that link, it opens a form and you can do it all right there in the form. You don't have to worry about sending in an email.
So let's say, example, if I click on Florida, I
Mhm.
should see a link there for additional packs that could send
Very
me.
first, yes.
Okay.
Very first thing it says is register your pack.
Now I noticed that there were several states that were bold, which means there's a pack registered there.
Right, right.
So the ones that there are not bolded, they don't give you the opportunity to click on them, which means they could not get to that link, correct?
There's nothing there. In
Okay,
other words, we don't have a pack there. I
right.
didn't want to create a whole bunch of sections if there's nothing in them.
Sure, I understand. Okay.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So when you see that, you'll see there's one in Hawaii, we have one in Arizona, we have the Florida packs. I just got 2. I don't know whether it's from your podcast or the folks that you speak with, but I just got 2 submissions today from packs.
Awesome.
So that's pretty exciting. So that means that pups are getting the word.
Yeah.
And it is a service. I'm getting nothing out of this. I really, really want nothing more than to have these packs thriving.
Yeah.
That's really it.
Well, I know what I did today was I went into all of my Facebook pup groups and I shared about the Packs Unpacked. And then I shared it on my main puppy Facebook page, which I have close to 1,800 followers there. And that's where I got all the questions is how do I register a pack?
Right,
And
right.
I told them at this point, just message Pup World on Instagram and they will tell you how to do it.
Yep. And I've done that. One of them this morning, someone did that very thing, and I sent them the link, and the link popped up, and everything. I tried it out. Everything works fine. So when you click on the link, like I said, it goes to a form. You fill out the form, and it's easy peasy. The only thing it doesn't have on there, but it does mention it, is that please send a few pictures too, and then it gives the email address.
Okay.
I'd like to include pictures. Why not?
Oh, of course, yeah. Well, it's been awesome getting to showcase Pup World. I'm glad I'm kind of a little minute part of it and everything.
No,
And
my friend, you're a big part of it. And like I have said before, listeners and watchers of this podcast, we're going to be doing an interview of our friend Twigs here and highlighting the podcast because it's an essential and very important part of this big old community that already exists. I'm no great savior or something like that. All I am is trying to wave the banner and call up the troops because I think it's a valuable community. I think it's a valuable section of beings. And I think you individuals are extremely valuable. Know that, know that, know that.
I agree with you on that. So, any last words before we jump off this podcast?
No, except it has been a pleasure. Like I said, I identify as a bear, but my heart is in this pup world. It
Yeah,
really is.
I hear you. Well, we'll get it. I know this won't be the last time we talk. We'll probably get to talk a lot, know each other very well. So, again,
Awesome.
thank you for wanting to be on here, and until next time.
Woof.